Imagine walking from New York to Lisbon, over 3,000 miles across the Atlantic. At an average walking speed, it would take you a month and a half to reach the other side, assuming you could walk non-stop and didn't need to rest or sleep. Of course, in reality, the only practical way to make this journey right now is by plane or boat. But what if someday you could walk across the Atlantic on foot? Would you dare to take on such a challenge? The first major obstacle is the vast body of water in the Atlantic Ocean, which spans about 20% of Earth's surface. Together, all the oceans cover roughly 70% of our planet. While it seems like there's endless water, only a small fraction is actually drinkable. About 97% of Earth's water is in the oceans as salt water, which isn't fit for consumption. Another 2% is frozen in glaciers, leaving us with less than 1% of accessible fresh water for all living beings on Earth. The oceans play an essential role in sustaining life. They regulate the Earth's temperature, especially around the equator. Without oceans, regions around this imaginary line running through countries like Brazil, Kenya, and Indonesia would become scorching hot. Oceans are also the heart of the water cycle, that process we learned about in school. Water evaporates from oceans, forms clouds, rains down on land, and flows back into rivers that empty into the oceans again. Without this cycle, there would be no clouds, no rain, and Earth would dry up, turning into a vast desert. Now, if we could somehow walk across the dry seabed that was once the Atlantic Ocean, what would it look like? The landscape would be unlike anything we know above water. The ocean floor is home to towering mountains and deep valleys that surpass anything on land. For example, did you know that the tallest mountain on Earth isn't Mount Everest? It's actually Mauna Kea, a dormant volcano in Hawaii. While Everest is the highest when measured from sea level, Mauna Kea, when measured from its base on the ocean floor to its peak, reaches 33,500 feet, nearly a mile taller than Everest. Underneath the Atlantic lies the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the planet's largest geological feature. This massive underwater mountain range stretches halfway to the height of Mount Kilimanjaro and is as wide as 1/10 of Earth's diameter. Only parts of it, like Iceland and the Azores, peak above the ocean surface. This ridge was discovered relatively recently in the 1950s, revealing a hidden world we are just beginning to explore. In fact, we've mapped only about 5% of Earth's oceans, meaning we know more about the surface of the moon than the depths of our own planet. If you were to cross this dry ocean, you would be traversing tectonic plates, the giant slabs of Earth's outer crust that are constantly shifting. Tectonic movement is responsible for earthquakes, volcanoes, and the formation of mountains. For example, 40 to 50 million years ago, the Indian tectonic plate collided with the Eurasian plate, creating the Himalayas. This process continues today, causing the Himalayas to grow by about 1/3 of an inch each year. Similarly, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is causing the Atlantic Ocean to widen by about 1.5 inches per year as the North American and Eurasian plates drift apart. This means that if you wait long enough, your hypothetical walk across the Atlantic might grow longer each year, just by a tiny bit. Interestingly, scientists believe that mountains may come back together in the distant future. In about 50 million years, North and South America are predicted to drift toward Asia, eventually merging to form a new supercontinent, which scientists call Amasia. If that happens, the Pacific Ocean could disappear entirely, changing the planet's geography in unimaginable ways. So while a journey on foot from New York to Lisbon is impossible today, who knows about Earth will look like millions of years from now. But for now, if you enjoyed exploring this idea, make sure to like this video and share it with friends. Check out for other videos on our channel. Stay tuned and keep exploring.